Hello friends, my name is Gurmeet Kaur and this video is regarding GST composition scheme. Through this video, you will be able to gain the knowledge regarding the composition scheme from basic point of view and also from the CA final indirect tax exam point of view. So let's proceed. Composition scheme under subsections 1 and 2 of section 10 of the CGST Act 2017 is available in case of goods and restaurant services only. However, we have a condition to this particular line which says as per the second proviso stands for the condition. So this is a condition to section 10(1). A composition scheme taxpayer is permitted to render the services other than restaurant services up to a value not exceeding 10% of the turnover in the state or union territory in the preceding financial year or 5 lakh, whichever is higher. So we have again two conditions into the condition to the first important line which says that it is available in case of goods and restaurant services only. But it is available to the other services also other than restaurant services but up to a certain level, so which has been explained over here. A registered person whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year did not exceed 1.5 crores will be eligible to opt for the payment of tax under the composition scheme. However, this limit is different for the some special category states, which includes Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura and Uttarakhand, basically the mountain area. So the threshold for these areas is 75 lakhs. Let's learn the eligible persons who can avail the composition scheme. So the eligible persons are manufacturer, trader and the service provider. So we have a condition in these also, like in manufacturer there are some notified goods whose manufacturer cannot opt for the composition scheme. So those goods are ice cream and other edible ice, whether or not containing cocoa, pan masala, tobacco and to manufacture tobacco substitutes and aerated water. Trader, yes, it can be a eligible person. Service provider, again, as I explained in the first slide, that it is available to the restaurant services. However, other services are also available to be who can opt for the composition scheme. So those services, I have explained the condition in the first slide. So again we have two conditions over here that I have explained in the first slide. So service provider explained. Next is the tax rate. So tax rate will be different for manufacturer, trader and restaurant. So it will be both CGST and SGST. CGST stands for Central Goods and Service Tax. SGST stands for State Goods and Service Tax. So it is different for manufacturer, trader and restaurant. And ATU is the abbreviation that I have used. So the full form is aggregate turnover. In case of manufacturer, it is ATU in the formula. However, in case of trader, it is taxable supply. So this is something very important that you will be considering while doing the practical questions. So taxable supply is something which will be considered for the trader. We will not be considering the exempt supply in case of trader. However, in case of a restaurant or the manufacturer, exempt supply will also be counted for calculating aggregate turnover. Section 10(2)(a) of the CGST Act 2017. This section provides an option to the registered person who is not eligible to pay tax under subsections 1 and 2 of the section 10, which I have explained in the previous slide. So those were the section 1 and 2. If the person is not eligible, if a registered person is not eligible to pay taxes under those subsections, then he can opt for this subsection 10(2)(a) of the CGST Act 2017. This section provides that a registered person can pay the tax of 6%, so which includes CGST of 3% and SGST or UTGST of 3%, provided his annual turnover in the preceding financial year is up to 50 lakhs. If the registered person is eligible to take the benefit of the composition scheme, he shall pay at the rate of 6%, as I've explained, on his aggregate turnover. Now, aggregate turnover means first supplies of goods or services or both up to 50 lakh. What does this first supplies of goods or services or both means? So this is explained in the third para. For the determination of tax payable, we will not be including the supplies from the first day of April of the financial year to the date from which he become liable for the registration under this act. So this is something very important to be noticed, that we will not be counting the supplies from the first day of April till the date of registration. As per section 10(2) of the CGST Act, there are a list of persons who are not eligible for the composition scheme. So the service providers are first. I have explained that there are the service provider which can provide the services and which can opt for the composition scheme. So restaurant service, yes, of course, it can avail the composition scheme, and other services also, but up to the certain limit, as I have explained. Second is the person making non-taxable supplies. So alcohol, petrol and other supplies under Schedule 3. These are not taxable supplies under GST. Third, person making interstate supply of goods. So this is very important thing of the composition scheme, that it is available to be opted by the person only in case of the intrastate supply. So the supplies which is within the state or within the union territories are eligible for the composition scheme. Next is an electronic commerce operator responsible for collecting tax at source. Next is manufacturer of notified goods. I have explained the notified goods. Notified goods includes pan, masala, tobacco and other tobacco substitutes, and edible ice cream. So these were the aerated water. These were the notified goods. If the person is a manufacturer of these notified goods, then he is not eligible for the composition scheme. Then the last and not least is non-resident taxable person or casual taxable person. Now we will learn the Rule 5 of CGST Act Rules 2017 has prescribed some conditions to be complied with by the person who is opting for the composition levy. So he should neither be a casual taxable person or a non-resident. The stocks held by him should not have been purchased in the course of interstate trade or imported from the place outside India. The goods held by him have not been purchased from the unregistered supplier, or where purchased, he pays the tax under reverse charge. He shall pay the tax under section 9(3) and 9(4) reverse charge on inward supply of goods or service or both. He was not engaged in the manufacture of notified goods in the preceding year. So notified goods are the same which I have explained earlier also. He shall mention the words composition taxable person not eligible to collect tax on supplies at the top of the bill of supply issued by him. And he shall mention the words composition taxable person on every notice or signboard displayed at the prominent place at his principal place of business and every additional place or places of business. Examine the following cases, keeping in view the latest provision of GST law regulating composition scheme. Mr. X is a manufacturer of ice cream and pan masala in the state of Maharashtra. Seeing the first line of the question, yes, we can get to know that This is the manufacturer of notified goods. Hence, he is not eligible for the composition scheme. Second, Mr. Y of Gujarat opted for the composition scheme during the financial year 2022-2023. On October 10, 2022, his turnover crosses 1.5 crores. Can he continue under the composition scheme? Answer is no. He will have to immediately, within 7 days of this October 10, 2022, he will have to file the intimation for the withdrawal of the composition scheme in the form GST CMP 404. Third, GSZ Limited has two branches, Branch K and Branch L in Delhi, having same PAN. Branch K opt for the normal scheme. L Limited wants to opt for the composition scheme in case of Branch L. Is it possible? No. I have explained that a person having the same PAN, if there are more than one registered person under the same PAN, those will have to opt for the particular scheme all together. If Z Limited having the same PAN for both the Branch L and Branch K, Branch L cannot opt for the composition scheme and Branch K cannot opt for the normal scheme if they want to go together. They will have to opt for the same scheme. MN Limited has two registered business verticals in the state of Haryana. Its aggregate turnover during the previous financial year for both the verticals was 62 lakhs. It wishes to opt for composition levy for one of the verticals in the current year and wants to continue with registration and pay taxes at the merit rate for the second vertical. Can MN Limited do so? Explain with reasons. I will suggest the people who are about to give the exam for the CA final to give the answer in this format. If you'll give the answer in this format, this will be more clearer and you will get the marks obviously for sure. So firstly, the facts of the given case studies are given and then related provisions have been explained and then the decision. So in the facts, we have been told that it's two verticals with the same PAN. It wishes to offer the composition levy. The question is whether can he do so. The related provision says that when more than one registered person having the same PAN under Income Tax Act 1961, he shall not be eligible to offer the different scheme for the different persons. So here he cannot opt rather for the composition levy for only one of the vertical and pay tax under the regular scheme for the other vertical. This is again a practice question for you, an important question as well from the paper point of view. In this question, you will be getting the intrastate supplies. Yes, that will be included. Intrastate supplies again at nil rate, that will be included in aggregate turnover. Intrastate supplies were wholly exempt. So yes, that will also be included for composition levy. Then we have value of inward supplies on which tax payable under RCM. So this is something which will not be considered while calculating the aggregate turnover for the composition levy calculation. So this will be computed separately and I will be explaining this reverse charge mechanism in the coming videos. So the last one is intrastate supplies of good by chargeable at the rate of 18% GST. Yes, this 9 lakh will also be included while calculating the aggregate turnover, and then composition tax will be calculated, which is 0.5% and 0.5% equivalent to 1% of the aggregate turnover. Thank you for watching the video. Hit like if you like the video and please subscribe the channel if you wish to watch more videos that will be more knowledgeable for normal person and for a person who are about to give the CA final exam for the indirect tax. Thank you.